In this lecture, we'll talk about special products. We'll go over how to square the binomials. We will also learn how to find the product of the sum and difference of two terms. You can use FOIL method to learn these two objectives, but I'm going to show you here the formula for both of them. Let's first look at the formulas for squaring a binomial. The square of a binomial is a trinomial, consists of the square of the first term. Let me get the pen here so I can explain while I'm talking. So first of all, I'm going to square my first term, which is a times a square. Then we will do twice the product of the two terms, meaning I'm going to multiply twice. The two terms are a and b. So multiplying two times with a and b. And then I will do the square of the last term. In this case, I'm squaring my b. So square of the first term, square of the last term, and in the middle, you're multiplying two times the first and the second term. Similarly, with the subtraction sign also, we'll first square the a to get the a square. Negative b square is going to give you positive b square. Now in the middle, if there's a minus sign, the middle term stays a negative. So it will be negative 2 times a and b. Let's look at this with an example. But before that, you need to make sure the common error that which occurs when we're squaring a binomial is that we forget many times the middle term and we simply write a plus b whole square as a square plus b square, which is not correct. So you need to make sure when you square the binomials, you have to write the three terms, which is a trinomial. Let's look at an example now. So I wrote the formula just in case. I'm going to try to follow here with the example of 4x plus 5 squared. In this case, my a is 4x, my b is 5. So if I have to square my a square, I will square the 4x squared. In my middle term will be 2 times a times b. In this case, I will have 2 times 4x times 5. My b square is my 5 square because my b is 5. Let's write this again. 4x squared, that's my a square, plus the 2 times my a is 4x and my b is 5, and then 5 squared is 25. 4x squared will give you 16x squared. 2 times 4x times 5 will give you 2 times 4 is 8 and 8 times 5 is 40x. And then 5 squared will give you 5 times 5, which is 25. So this is what I end up having, a trinomial. 4x plus 5 whole square equals 16x squared plus 40x plus 25. You could do the same thing by foiling also, meaning you can write down the 4x plus 5 twice, and then you can multiply it 4 times. And eventually you will end up having the same result. So if you want to learn the FOIL, you can see the previous video of multiplying polynomials to learn the foiling. Let's try one with the negative. A minus b squared equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Let's look at the example. 9y minus 2 squared. Here my a is my 9y and my b is my 2. So first I'm going to write 9y squared, which is my a squared. Negative 2 stays as is, and then times a. Your a is a 9y and your b is a 2. Plus the b squared. Remember, you're doing a negative times negative. That's why the sign becomes positive. 9y whole square will become 81y squared minus 2 times 9y is negative 18y. And then you times that by 2, which will give you negative 36y. Plus 2 times 2, that is 4. So here is our final answer for 9y minus 2 whole square will be 81y square minus 36y plus 4. Once again, you can write this twice as 9y minus 2, 9y minus 2, and you can FOIL it 4 times and then combine the middle two terms, and you will still end up having a trinomial. Let's look at another formula here. Find the product of the sum and the difference of two terms. A minus b times a plus b equals a square minus b square. If I have to FOIL the a minus b and a plus b, you will see that your second term and the third term will be exactly same but the opposite sign. They will cancel each other out. So that's why you will end up having only the first term and the last term. In this case, it's a square minus b square. A minus b and a plus b is a difference of two square. These two are called the conjugate. The a minus b and a plus b are called the conjugates. Now remember, it only works for the difference of two terms, not for the sum of two terms. So keep that in mind. It's another common mistake. So it's a square minus b square. You can only write when you have a minus b times a plus b, meaning you're multiplying the two conjugates, opposite sign. Let's look at an example now. X plus 8 and x minus 8. Here, it's a plus b and a minus b. So in this case, my a is x and my b is 8. We are trying to write this as a square minus b square. So I will write this as x square minus 8 square. The sign here always will be minus because it's a square minus b square. X square will stay x square, and then 8 square will be 8 times 8, which is 64. So when you multiply the two conjugates, x plus 8, x minus 8, you will end up having x squared minus 64. Let's try one more example. 5x plus 3y, 5x minus 3y. In this case, my a is 5x, my b is 3y. When I write it down, I will put the minus sign. So I will write a square minus b square as 5x whole square minus 3y whole square. 5x whole square will give me 5x times 5x, which is 25x square. And 3y whole square will give me 3y times 3y, which is 9y squared. And that is your final answer. Now, if you don't want to use this formula, you can FOIL it 4 times. You will see your second term and the third term will cancel each other out, and you will end up having the first term and the last term. Or you can use the formula directly, a square minus b square, that equals the a plus b and a minus b. If needed, you can repeat the video again.